genuinely is a watershed in the history of the Yoruba land generally, and Ife in particular. Now, because they have a leader now, that will... Simply put, Gura is a beautiful countryside with awesome landscapes. If something differently will be done to the Nigerian textile industries, that our youth will be employed. The church here can tell you.
Service in Holy Rosa is in Bida.
We are taking a canoe tour of the communities on the bank of River Niger in Keso. Bida in Niger State never fails to leave a part of itself in your psyche with every visit. And Lord, I have been to Bida multiple times over the last 3 years. I always try to find a corner to take in all the happenings around me and document all my experience. One of my major take-home from this visit is that no entity in Nigeria today is going through as rapid a regeneration as Bida is. The reality of every modern state has a deep-rooted touch with its story of origin. Bida is essentially a traditional society and a land of heritage, a lighthouse of all that is Nupe heritage, Nupe as a people, Nupe as a land, and Nupe as an ethnic entity. The Nupe, with the seat in Bida, is the symbol of that heritage and its custodian. Indeed, Abubakar has done the hard work of opening Nupe land to the world, both as a land of heritage and as a modern state. His resourcefulness as a statesman has endeared his land to the world, and the global community find joy to come to Bida and Nupe land generally. One of the greatest testimony may well be the day he celebrated his 20th year on the throne. Bida was full to a breaking point. All of Nigeria was in Bida to identify. It was a lavish display of Nigeria's ethnic content. It was a brilliant of Nipa's hospitable and cultural side. It was one of my fine experiences going to Bida, and a fine example of how Etsu interfaith the traditional society with the modern state to the glory of his people. Again, as a modern state, Bida is the artery that connects the entire southern Nigeria to the north. It is a transition land that allows free flow of men and resources across the Nigerian state. On account of that, it continually proves itself as home to all Nigerians, as it accommodates an extensive galaxy of people representing various ethnic identities across the Nigerian space. Bida is cosmopolitan through and through, without compromising its heritage. There are various conscious efforts ongoing as well to open up Bida the more, to reclaim its preeminent position as an entity in regeneration. This one, however, is a permanent picture of regeneration. Horse racing in Nigeria was at a point proven to be a lost art, despite its national heritage and appeal. Across all of northern Nigeria, where it was most popular, people speak with nostalgia of how the premier of northern region then, Sir Hamadi Bello, the Sardona of Sokoto, used to be present at all major horse racing events. It was a sport of choice across the region and overly popular with the citizens. There is scarcely a major township in the north without a racecourse. The collapse of northern region and the creation of states may seem to affect the sport badly. Perhaps without a leading light, individual states fail to give it the required impetus. As a result, for years horse racing in Nigeria was on its knees, begging for mercy. In fairness, there exists in the country a national body in charge of horse racing. It identifies as Horse Racing Federation of Nigeria. That means there have not been absence of endeavor to resuscitate the sport nationally. The major turning point for the sport for me is the enthronement of HNP Yahya Abubakar as the national president of the governing body. He leads by example. Today, Bida has turned out to be the nerve center for horse racing in Nigeria, even as the country realigned itself with the sport and is going the distance to see it grow big. Horse Racing Federation in Nigeria keeps a periodic international horse racing fixture in Bida. It often occurs 3 to 4 times a year. In addition, the HU has been on top of efforts to reactivate the sport across all of its ancient strongholds, even as he forays into untapped areas across the country, the south of the country, Mosho. Thanks to its rights, today across major cities of Kaduna, Kano, Zaria, Sokoto, and Jos, the horse racing tracks are back to life and flourishing. It is still the story of Bida and its regeneration as an epic cultural hub. I have captured one of those high-end international horse racing events in Bida, and it was phenomenal. How much we miss horse racing. There was an able lieutenant in his second Dawaki, Mustafa Abubakar, who is super passionate about horse racing and who is at the center of all horse racing events in the country. Of course, Abubakar is a chieftain of the Racing Federation of Nigeria and in his own right has an enviable stable of racing horses. He was at the center of the Bida event and it was a pleasure to be there.
In Bida, Niger State, the horse racing tracks are born again. Bida is continually emerging as the horse racing capital of Nigeria. There is, of course, a revival effort to see this ancient tradition of Nigeria is revived, not only in northern Nigeria where it is most popular, but also across the country. There is also an attempt to make it international. But Bida has progressively been emerging as the capital of this revival effort.
Again, Bida is at the forefront of a major revival effort to release Nigeria as a global horse racing hub. Today, all the right indices for an entertaining and spectacular race were in place. The sky was clear. The racing turf is no less so. It is even made more beautiful by the greenery at the center of a circle. Around the space, the flags of countries whose citizens are participating in the race stand tall and flapping with optimism. The prizes to be won were also conspicuously on display. The course may be routine here for winners. Some 5 buses were on standby, waiting for every winner of the 6th cup to be won. Again, it is an international horse racing derby with the theme Hope Renewed First Year Democracy Derby. Bida, of course, is the home of an international horse racing turf, the Sultan Saad Abubakar International Racecourse. On this day, before the race began, the horses for the races were in various stages of warm-up. They look different from the ones we often see on Durban Road. These ones are more athletic, giantly built and striking. It is often assumed, correctly perhaps, that horse racing is a sport for the aristocracy. Yet it is common sight that those who run the races do not seem aristocratic, nor indeed those who take care of the horses day to day. They understand the language of the horses and have developed a deep working relationship with them over time.
You know, horse has a natural likeness from the general people. So it has a unity of purpose. It brings people closer or together more than football. You can see the kind of flair when Nigeria is playing football. You have it more in the horses. You can bring a car of 10 million and keep it here. Nobody stands and look at it. But if you bring a horse of 1,000 naira, so many people and children will start and stand looking at it. So that is the natural gift, of the love of horses.
And you are bringing it down home. That is one thing that impresses me. It's like everything you want to bring it down home. You are from Bida, you are bringing the horse racing to Bida. I know already Bida has a history of horse racing.
Yeah, certainly the Horse Racing Federation, who is the leading federation in Nigeria, is being led by His Royal Highness, the Etunupe. So virtually whatever we start, or whenever the season is opening, it starts from here, and then we follow to other, other places where we race.
The horses in the races are given fantastic names to go with them and really spice up the races. Races are won by individual horses, and usually the name they bear make them easy to remember and attract more support. There is, for instance, Bakin Boss or the Black Boss. There is Gamzaki, which stands for the Dawn. There is Antawaye, the Rebel. Dawisu, the Peacock. And Inshallah, by Allah's will, among other spectacular names. They make you think like you are reading the Iliad by Homer and recalling all those fighters at Trojan War. The horses are no less warriors though. The actual racing can be breathtaking. One just needs to pull himself together and enjoy it. Many become restless and on edge with the tension and excitement throughout the tournament. On this day, the contests are for 6 cups. There is, for instance, the late Muhammad Ibrahim Ndasaba Barwandupe Memorial Cup. It is 8 fallow, or 1,600 meters. 1 fallow is equal to 200 meters. Some 18 horses were in the contest for it. Another round was the Etunupe's Cup, which was 10 fallow or 2,000 meters. 9 horses entered this race. The race in Bida has some beautiful images to it, different from the horses that are the main attraction. There are a wide body of spectators who stand on hilltops to watch. It is a fantastic sight.
The people of Bida in Niger State are not strictly speaking hillers, but today you can see hundreds of people on top of the hill. Well, they are witness to a derby. They call it Nupe Classic Derby, a horse race competition of magnificence, of brilliance, which is gathering thousands of people from all across the country just to quite release it. So it is not only the game that we have. The local community also are coming out in their thousands to celebrate it. It is a beautiful scenario here.
There are also bodies of masquerades and snake charmers all around to give the event that aura of a traditional society. Yet, these dance groups who provide episodic interludes are a beauty to watch. The way the races are run and the measure of excitement they generate smack of a deep-rooted commitment and enthusiasm from those who put it together. One really wonders what fired this zeal.
You know, the horse racing is a royalty event, and this is what we have inherited, you know, from our forefathers. And then globally, horse racing is now a money-making venture. And then as a country, Nigeria, we don't want to be left behind. So we are doing everything possible to ensure that we improve our breed to have an equal strength to compete with horses globally in the world. So we are making this push to ensure that in very few years to come, we'll be racing in Saudi Arabia and Dubai, where the World Cup of racing.
Truly, the regeneration of horse racing in Nigeria is a work in progress, but the promised land is in the eye line. Another racing cup contested at the Bida competition is the Sultan Saad Abubakar Cup. It is also 10 fallow, and 8 horses contested it.
Wasan farin ciki, wasan zaman lafiya, wasan haɗin kan ƙasa.
The Ace of Nupe, Yahya Abubakar, offers deeper insight on their resolve to see the return of the races across all of Nigeria. On the day, he watches as some of his horses were winners of the races.
This horse racing was a long-standing historical sporting event that our forefathers introduced, and we saw a lot of advantages there. You know, bring people together, make people happy, make people feel naturally. This can be worked out when we are in peace with each other. Worked out when we love each other in equal terms, and perform our utmost best. So it's a sport that it has some what we call spiritual advantage, spiritual bond that binds people together.
The races continue to come thick and fast. A traditional ruler from the east, happy and motivated by the event in Bida, made a bold statement of intent.
Yeah, it has not started except during ceremonies. But inshallah, as vice president, one day I will organize the competition in Owerri. Inshallah. Yes.
Consulting the Bagadu.
Yes. I congratulate him. He's my brother, he's my friend. He's everything to me.
So when you are going to invite me, I will come to you.
Inshallah. Inshallah. We'll make sure you are there. And the voice again, the golden voice.
The Bida horse racing this evening was a thoroughly pleasant evening of racing, entertainment and camaraderie. The races continue well into the evening, and guests were rooted to their seats with excitement. The evening saw award of prizes and a futuristic view of the horse race in Nigeria.
Da mota da tsabar kuɗi naira 50,000 na mai.
Very important. It's a developing sport, but with a lot of history. In northern Nigeria, horse racing has been part and parcel of our culture. But now the Etudupe is doing well and trying to spread it across the country. And we have more and more locations today where this horse race is taking place. I'm told they are going to Jos, they are going to Bauchi, and before now, I think it's only Kano and Kaduna. So Alhamdulillah, we are getting more locations and more people.
It's happening in Lafiagi.
We are making our plans also for it to come to Lafiagi.
Again, the horse racing culture wholly embraced by Bida is a testimony to the regeneration of its cultural heritage. Yet, in summary, the Bida competition is a thrilling event of horse culture and a forward movement to see the horse racing tracks are back to life and are abreast with the best global practice, even as it opens a new business vista for the nation. Nigeria is, after all, not new to a horse culture. It is remarkable that Bida is being opened up to the world the more by index of right political decision-making. Its 84-kilometer road to Mina, the capital of its state, has for years been a nightmare to negotiate. Nothing short of 4 hours take you to Mina, and always stressful. Work has begun on the road in earnest, and it has 2-year completion period. What it means is that Bida, and in fact the whole of Nupeland, will witness increased social and economic activity and greater exposure or contact with the outside world. Obviously, a vehicle for the regeneration of its cultural heritage and greater ascendancy as a modern state.
Of course, the Bida
mineral. It will be a long dream come true. We call it a long dream come true.
At least we can go there.
You can go there, you know. One dream is completed. We are talking about maybe 40 to 45 minutes from Bida to Mina. You are already in Mina. From Mina to Bida, we will do 40 minutes, you are already in Bida. Where presently it takes nothing less than 2 hours to travel.
How do you see this kind of effort by the government?
No, we appreciate. And we pray Almighty Allah to guide him through, given where we are. Because it requires intention, your intention first. Then where we are, how we are going to accomplish your aims and objectives.
Across the general determination to rebuild the Mina Bida road, the reconstruction of this bridge at Sabangida along the road is one of the most heartwarming and pleasing. You know what? This bridge collapses with the heavy rain for the past 10 years and impeding flow of traffic along the road. Motorists have been complaining. The people around the area have been complaining because of flood. Now it is being fixed, and it's going to be a double carriageway with the traffic light, and that means the street light. You talk of reconstruction and expansion and something to help people to develop their lives. This is one of the... development happen. How do you know the bridge before, and what is happening now? How do you think?
In fact, generally, what is happening in the state is highly commendable and highly unprecedented. It has never been this good in the history of our dear state. I think we have gotten it right this time around.
So you have gotten it right now?
Yes,
we have happy. Share some of the experience with this bridge, especially before.
Well, usually during rainy season, it's usually cut off. And what the state government is doing now is to avoid a situation whereby the bridge will get cut off. Though the road has been awarded, and we can see the contractors, they have resumed sites everywhere, and it's quite commendable.
For better emphasis, if any entity in Nigeria today is going through a remarkable regeneration, Bida in Niger State is that entity. It has been the lighthouse of all that is Nupe. It is now blossoming and transforming into the lighthouse of all Nigerian state by act of its passion for the regeneration of horse racing and all the beauty associated with it. It will also becoming the lighthouse of Nigeria's horse racing adventure.